What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're going to be talking about Esports Box Club, and we're going to be taking a closer look at some of the snippets in the new gameplay that dropped on February 17th. And the main thing we'll be focused on is something that so many people asked for in the suggestions, in the questions, in ESBC discussion in general, and whatever in the ESBC Discord, and that is the referee. Of course, we saw the old referee back in the day, you know, from the older game where he was just he just stood there. Like, he wouldn't have cared if Wilder had knocked out and ripped a man's skull off. He would have just stood there and, you know, he wasn't much. However, we actually got to see a referee. And the referee that we got to see was Kenny Bayless, not just generic referee male number one. We got to see a real referee, which is Kenny Bayless. Now I'm going to go through a few clips. I'll slow them down and stuff like that for you guys so you can see them, just in case you didn't notice, because I watched it and I was like, oh, the ref's there, you know, put it on Twitter. Then I noticed there's actually 20 seconds or so of gameplay in total where we get to see the ref, you know, a little bit, not like full body. We get to see him a little bit. Now this first clip is just funny, just had to show you it because the ref is in it. As you'll notice, what a lot of people didn't notice is in the background here, the referee is in the background, but he is on the other side of the ropes. Like he's waiting to be tagged in like the WWE, like Wilder's going to go tag him in, then he's going to take on Fury. So he's meant to be there. He's meant to be in the ring. He is there. He's watching the action. You can tell his body is pointing in the direction of the fight, but he's just stood there. He's just stood on the wrong side of the ropes, which I just thought was brilliant. You know, he's there. He actually looks decent. You know, like when you'll see him later, he actually looks, the render of him is actually brilliant. But I just thought that was funny, and I thought I just had to show you guys that clip there. Then we see in this second clip, he's in the corner. He's very there. However, he's very much there, but mentally he's gone. like mentally he is in another realm of reality. He doesn't know what's going on. He has looks like a little bit of movement, like his head is moving a little bit, but he's not very involved. You know, these guys are fighting in the corner. These guys are fighting in the middle of the ring, sorry, and he's all the way stood very stagnant in the corner. He's not ready to pounce in case someone goes down to start a count. Just stood there, which I understand that he's there, and they're showing that he's there, like, you know, visually he's there, which I think is brilliant. But, you know, I hope just like, even if the ref stands in the corner, there's a bit of movement to him. His head's maybe moving a little bit, knees are bent a little bit, just getting ready to, you know, go in. Especially when you're fighting a hard hitter like Wilder, the ref's got to be prepared at all times to jump to protect that fighter, just in case. Then we go across to the next part with Carl Froch against Caleb Plant, and we get to see him quite a bit here, you know. Just little camera angles, we see him. He's actually moving around this time. He's actually somewhat close to the fighters this time instead of just in a corner. And he actually moves out the way of the camera, which I think is just absolutely brilliant. It's good to actually see a real referee here, like I said, instead of just generic male number 3 or generic female number 7. Like, we actually get to see a real referee. I wonder if that'll have his... I don't know really. I suppose some referees do have tendencies, actually, as in like the referee will, you know, tend to stop fights early, tend to let fights go on too long, you know, not want to see a fighter go down, will kind of stop the fight on the feet kind of thing. I wonder if they'll get him like that, or if he's more just visually there to keep an eye on the fight. And I like when, you know, there's a clip where we can see him kind of in the background a bit more, and he's actually watching the fight. He's relatively close to the action. Camera pivots round, and we see him move off the camera a little bit. The camera moves, we can see that his arm's kind of open for him to move. You can tell whenever he's moving, because when he's not, his hands are by his side, and when he is, his hands come up a little bit. And then the last clip where we see him is he's actually quite close. He's blocking about half the camera at one point, and he actually moves out the way of the camera, pivots round. Not like he pivots around, but he kind of walks around out the way of the camera to watch from behind Plant, which I think is brilliant. You know, I think it's good to actually see a real ref, not just the ref just vanish, because in the UFC games, one thing they do is they make the referee vanish, which I've got no issue with, in all honesty. You know, it doesn't affect my life. Like, I'm not upset about that. It's just the fact that, you know, it would be cool to have the ref more involved, especially in a combat game, UFC or Fight Night or Esports Box Club or fucking Round for Round, whatever comes out, I don't care. But it would be good, like how with ESBC are doing it here, with the ref to be more involved, and you see the ref because of standing TKOs and things like that. No game really ever has standing TKOs, and this is something I want to see, where the ref sacrifices his body, jumps in the way, to protect the other fighter that's getting punished. Because you see that a lot. Steve Willis is a fighter that does that quite a bit. He done that in a Crawford fight, I believe. I can't remember the guy's name who was fighting, but he jumped in the way, and you could see him not wanting, almost like, not that he wasn't wanting to, but he knew the danger, and he jumped in anyways. He protected himself and protected the fighter, and Crawford stopped throwing punches because the ref was in the way. So, definitely want to see more involvement of the ref. I'd be happy if they even just showed the ref breaking up the clinch or something, instead of just the ref going, stop, and then you break up. I'd like to see the ref get in between and separate. I don't know if that's possible, or if that's too much hassle for such a small detail, because sometimes we all want realism, but sometimes you've got to weigh out what's worth it. Is the ref, for example, if I give you guys an ultimatum and I say the game will definitely come out in July, however, if the ref, when they're in the clinch, actually comes close and he puts his hands between you two, separates you, pushes you apart, and then goes fight again, would you want that for an extra month wait of the game? I guarantee everyone's going to say no. So it's kind of that thing for me. It's like, I want these little details, but how much do they matter in the grand scheme of things right off release for me personally? I'd rather have the game now in a little bit of a messier state and play it, as opposed to have every little tiny nook and cranny detail before the game has been released. But I'm definitely happy that the ref doesn't just vanish. We see him actually pan off camera. He actually moves out of the way of the camera. We can see him in the background. So I'm definitely gonna, look out for him in more gameplay in the future. And yeah, really cool feature to see. Really, really cool to see him. Especially because they announced Kenny Bayless as during a fighter announcement, I believe it was, it was during a fighter announcement. And I thought that was really cool. And I believe they also announced Miles Lane. I believe they were. Am I on drugs? I mean, I'm not, but am I tripping? I don't remember. But yeah, anyways, they announced Kenny Bayless, and I was curious to see if they would announce a ref and then he just vanish, because that'd be stupid. So I'm glad to see that he's got some involvement and he's moving around constantly. So surely with this, he's going to be involved in the fight in some way, standing TKOs, or maybe he'll actually properly drop down. When you get dropped, he'll actually drop down, stand over you 1, 2, or he'll drop down to one knee and show the numbers under your face if you're like hunched over, kind of thing. What I would have liked during the Kell Brook and Conor Benn drop, they showed, I would have liked to have seen the ref appear, but the ref never appeared. No matter how much I slowed it down, looked at every nook and cranny, the ref was never appearing. So I was kind of waiting to see, but maybe sometimes, maybe that's just maybe this is the newest gameplay with Kenny Bayless in it, and they just want to show it. But we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose, guys. But yeah, I just want to make this video because I thought it was really cool to finally see a ref that doesn't just disappear into thin air like in UFC. But yeah, thank you as always for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. What would you want the ref to do? Like, if you had to pick 2 things that the ref does, what would it be? Mine would be jumps in for standing TKOs and takes a knee with you to do the count, or stands over you and does the 1, 2, 3. The break and the clinch, I could live without that if the ref done those 2 things that I said. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe for more Esports Box Club videos, and as well as loads of other random shit. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.